Sinner and Alcaraz made it, maybe he would have. No, no, actually, no. I didn't think they were gonna drop set either. I made the mistake of thinking Sinner was gonna drop a set against Bublik already. I did not make that mistake yesterday. Carlos hasn't dropped a set all tournament, and him and Novak are meeting again now, and it's like, is this gonna be the final time? Pretty sure Novak won the last one, maybe even the last two meetings that they had, and it's like he's been refusing to let go of the torch. So I'm wondering, is this gonna be the time now where Carlos says, no, 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 let's go. He's not gonna retire Novak, obviously, but it's gonna be the shift. For example, between Sinner and Djokovic, Djokovic won their first three meetings and then won one more time in 2023. But for the last 2 years, it's always been Sinner. I'm just wondering if Carlos makes a statement in this game, that's going to be the shift. So anytime they come against each other, it's not going to be like, oh, Novak might have him. It's going to be like, no, it's too late. Also, Carlos and Novak is the oldest semifinals matchup at the US Open since 1991, which is just like, you don't deep it. You hear Novak's 38 and you're like, yeah, he's 38. He's a legend. He's doing his thing. But you don't even realize that he's going one-on-one against a 22-year-old. That it's like unimaginable. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take Carlos for that matchup. I, when he played Lehechka, I mean, I think the first set Lehechka had a few plays, not even games, like a few plays. He tried making it interesting. Honestly, like I was watching it thinking Lehechka seems like a good player, but it's just things he can't control when it comes to Carlos. The level is just too different. But I do like Lehechka. I think he played a good game. It was entertaining for the least part, I guess. And props to him. He did his thing. Fritz Djokovic, I feel like we all knew what was gonna happen. Novak's not gonna go out in a quarterfinal in what could be his last chance to win or make the finals of a Grand Slam, especially not to a guy where he has a 10-0 now 11-0 head-to-head record against. I'm not the biggest fan of Fritz's game. I feel like it's all power and brute force. As he stayed on the baseline too much. Obviously, he came to the net a few times, whatever. But I feel like he's just hitting it hard and hoping that maybe it's gonna overpower. But you're versing the best returner and a top 2 to 3 returner currently still at his age. So it's like you need to rely on a little bit of more. You need a little bit more trickery, creativity. That's just how I see it. Or else Djokovic's experience and defense that he could switch into offense so fast. Like out of nowhere, you're just going, and his backhand can just slam, and he could jackknife you. So I think Fritz, he's number 4 in the world. To me, the difference between Carlos and Alcaraz and Fritz's level, because Zverev is weird for me. I don't want to compare. I don't want to put him on Fritz's level, but obviously he's not on Carlos and Yannick's level, so it's like weird. But Fritz is really far. To be number 4 for me is really far from them. And I watched Fritz and Shelton in person in Toronto. Obviously, people have off days, people have good days, blah blah blah. But that was just a clear showing for me in the arena that Shelton is a level above Fritz, in my opinion. And then we have Aliassime who played Diminar. Honestly, I didn't get to watch as much as I wanted to because I had to go to work, but I feel like what I did watch and the highlight recap that I did watch afterwards, I'm kind of a little bummed out that I didn't get to watch. And people online were saying like, "Oh, 5-hour game so dumb because you're just gonna go versus Yannick and get 3-0'd and blah blah blah." But like, why not have the game of your life right now? Why are we worrying about what's gonna happen next week and stuff? Remember in Wimbledon what Dimitrov was doing to Sinner because of whatever the circumstances were. So we can't really write off, Aliassime now, or even if it was Deminar. But, it's nice to see a Canadian, Aliassime, do his thing and enjoy watching Deminar play. The speed demon, I love his defense, how fast he is, makes stuff entertaining. But I did pick Aliassime to win that just because of the form he was currently on. I watched him against Rublev, seen a bit against Zverev. So I was like, I think the momentum was going to carry. Also, he's been to a US Open semifinal before. Not sure if Deminar has. He might have, but I'm just not sure. And I think Aliassime is not going to put up a fight against Sinner, I don't know if I can see him winning a set. It just depends how he's serving, I guess, especially in game one, because he has a very powerful serve, very accurate serve. And I think if his serve game's on, he doesn't get broken, he'll make it interesting. And if he can break Sinner, one or two times, then it's really gonna get interesting. Also, like yesterday when Musetti and Sinner played, first game, Musetti was getting broken, broken, broken. Or sorry, first set, sorry. Musetti was getting broken, broken, broken. But the second set and continuing a little bit into the third set, his serving games were better. That's why the second set went to 6-4, because Musetti's serve was. So if Aliassime has the mentality like that, where early in the first set he's not serving too well, but there's the switch he can flip, and his serving game starts going, then it can make things interesting. We'll see. I'm still gonna take Sinner in 3. If it goes to 4, okay, whatever. But I think Sinner has a guaranteed spot in this finals. The way he's playing tennis, the malicious intent he seems to be hitting the ball with, just doesn't like. I'm watching it like when he's just hitting a regular like crossbody, open hand forehand. But he looks like it doesn't look like it's 90 miles per hour. It like seems like it's malicious intent. The camera zooms in on him after, and he's either super serious or he has like a little evil smile. So Sinner's booking his spot in the finals, in my opinion. I think I covered all 4 quarterfinal games, and yeah, I didn't really cover Sinner Musetti. I just talked about Musetti serve game got better, but it wasn't, Um, Djokovic and Carlos. I think it's like so weird to me because like there's a little part of me that doesn't want to write off Novak, but are you seeing what Carlos is doing this tournament? Like people are talking about Yan because he's number 1 in the world, and but Carlos hasn't dropped a set. Carlos is also playing with malicious intent, but because he's smiling all the time, you don't even realize it. Did you see the behind the back shot that he hit? He buzzed his hair and he just said, "No, that's it. I'm consistent now." And it's like, whoa, no, you can't be consistent always. That's not who you are. But he's like, yeah, no, it is. I'm gonna be consistent now. I'm coming for that number 1. Because I think if Carlos wins U.S. Open, he overtakes Yan as number 1, which we don't want that, but we can't, we can't help it always, right? So I love Carlos, he's a great player, but I don't want him to overtake Yan. Although I think Carlos is gonna take the torch for good from Novak this time. I don't think it's gonna be in 3. I think Novak will get a set, but I don't think Novak have the gas to get 2 sets. I don't think he'll take it all the way. So Novak's gonna spend majority of his time on the baseline, obviously, but I feel like Carlos could have him running a lot, especially with the drop shots. For me, Carlos's drop shots are one of one. Bublik and some other guys currently in the game have some good ones. I don't know all of them. Mute, Bublik, I love like some entertainers, but Carlos, I feel like you have to worry so much more about his because you're so much worried already playing him. His arsenal is so wide. When he opens up his body for that monster forehand, it's probably the most powerful in the game. It's up there at least. It's effective, maybe. And then, boom, drop shot. You're running for your life. If you return it, there's maybe a very good percent chance he's volleying it because his net game is class. So I think Carlos in 4. I think Sinner in 3. Don't want to talk about the finals. That's gonna be the next time. And you know what? Shout out Ali Asim. I just want to shout him out. I feel like he really this could be a really good stepping stone for his career. So even though I think Sinner in 3, I just wanted to say that. I wanted to say shout out Ali Asim. I hope his career continues. He was in the top 10 at one point. I wasn't watching tennis back then. As a Canadian born citizen, I want to see him back where he's supposed to be, where I'm seeing him now. So shout out Ali Asim, and come on.